Hello there guys, my name is Steve and welcome back to my channel where I review films every single week. So if you're a big fan of film, big fan of new releases, even classics, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. And hopefully you can get involved in the comments as well. It's a nice comment section we've got down below, so get offering your thoughts on the newest films and any films you want to see reviewed on this channel in the comments below. But today we're reviewing a fascinatingly interesting film, one of the most intense, weird, creative and crazy films I've seen in a long time. The favourite, starring Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone. What a cast it was and what a film it was.
The Queen is an extraordinary person.
They were all staring, weren't they? I can tell even if I can't see, and I heard the word fat, and ugly.
No one but me would dare, and I did not.
Now, this was a totally bizarre, utterly entertaining, freakish, weird, but yet brilliant film. It's totally worth all the critical acclaim it's received recently, and rightfully so. That cast, that powerhouse of a cast, all three were absolutely spectacular. And this was a film that had fun with itself. You could tell that the director and the actors, they enjoyed making this film, and it practically oozed charisma. It oozed weirdness, and I love a film that really plays with surrealness and has this sense of strangeness to it. Essentially, it's a period drama from the 18th century about Queen Anne, the last of the Stuart Monarchs. Olivia Colman was cast quite brilliantly as Queen Anne, and she basically struggled her way through her reign, dealing with bickering, infighting, jealousy, struggling with the demands that came with Parliament, ruling over a reign, ruling over a kingdom at war too. But she was absolutely fantastic, as you'd expect from Olivia Colman. She's a national treasure. Her performance was not only hilarious at times, full of incredibly witty, sharp lines, but it was also deeply tragic. She played this perfect soul, totally lost in the middle of this world, with people around her manipulating her, taking advantage of her nature as a queen. She's pained, tragic, and deep down there was moments of real levity and real seriousness as you realise essentially this woman in the middle of all these games was broken. She was depressed, she was broken, she was in pain, and she was suffering at the hands of the world. It's a deeply serious film. It's a deeply sad film despite its comic lashings, and there was plenty of comedy as well. Rachel Weisz in particular, Emma Stone, stony face, brilliant, manipulative, dark yet funny. There's something brilliant about watching a film where you get to enjoy the characters being absolute bastards, if we're being honest. There's something quite refreshing watching these people have that fun, because you think, I wish I could do that sometimes. All of us sometimes think, I wonder what it'd be like to be absolutely horrible at all times if we could be, to say what we think, to do what we want, and live without a care in the world. And all three nailed that feeling, as did the supporting cast. Nicholas Hoult in particular, outstanding as one of the leaders of the political party. A man who was brilliantly duplicitous with his nature, at one point seemingly honest with his intentions, and the cause that he was fighting for was so noble, yet it was so brutal, yet so kind of nasty in the ways he went about to try and win favour of the Queen. And that added essentially this dark layers of the film where nothing was ever what it was on the face surface. If anyone was honest at that point, you wouldn't genuinely know, but that was the beauty of this film. And it wasn't just the weirdness of the surroundings, the camera work in particular, the cinematography was genuinely bizarre at times, using and utilising these incredible wide shots, this fisheye lens effect that gave it this almost dark, kind of nightmarish, kind of detached sense. You never really felt like you were there at times, and you got a bunch of weird angles that were really creative. Even when they were more standard shots, they were never cut close. They were often pulled really far back, and you got a sense of the space between the two characters and the world around them. The idea that these two people here, so small in such a wide picture, were never really in control, lost in the confines of the huge palace that they lived in, or the woods surrounding the palace. They were just pawns being moved around a much bigger battlefield. The soundtrack as well added to the sense of surrealness, lurching from weird staccato strings and strange sweeping and powerful organs that kicked in, really added a poignancy to the film. It really played with the emotions of Queen Anne as well, and the soundtrack tended to document exactly how Olivia Colman's character was feeling: suicidal at times, lost to the world, gleeful, even blissful, and totally unaware of what was going around her. And the soundtrack captured that purposely, mixing from Purcell, Handel to Vivaldi, a classical soundtrack befitting of the setting. It was a weirdly strange and unsettling film despite the comic nature, and the credit for that has to go to the writing team and the director Yorgos Lanthimos for creating this weird atmosphere that really dragged you in. There's nothing better than a comedy. It really nails the darker side of humour, where you're laughing but you know deep down things aren't quite what they seem to be. The Favourite is a fantastic film, and it's definitely earned all the lavish praise that it's had recently. I mean, for me, as someone who's recently watched a lot of superhero films, it felt refreshing to watch something so well written, so kind of sharp and so built around the characters of these actors, these fantastic actors at the height of their game. It's a fantastic film. Is it for everyone? Some may struggle with the pacing of it in general. Some may struggle with the surrealness of it. But if you are a fan of film, I highly recommend catching The Favourite. It's a fantastic piece of cinema. Anyway, guys, that's just my takes on what was a bizarre yet thoroughly entertaining film. If there's any other films that you've seen recently that you want me to cast my over, please let me know. And if you've seen The Favourite as well, let me know in the comments below what your verdict was. I've been Stephen. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Go and check out my videos on Spider-Man, Aquaman, and Bird Box. And I will see you soon.